Abusia, I'm about Merry Christmas to you. Haruna Iddrisu, ayena viewers, I say Mikasanawa. Sometimes we resist to talk long, but the ma briefly assembly na it a name popping in. Now Abusia in commercial sharp name Dr. Haruna Iddrisu. We interview first exclusive and I may drop it our channel also. Now all granted interview no and a host in Busanze. So Professor Nano Poko Ajimai. Nidi me P man was it is possible, who knows? Like I said, we're on the street, but we're confirming in such a way say rumors say Professor Nano Poko Ajimai obey the next female vice president. Or you know, all dodgy and was it who knows? It is possible. It is a confirmed say or patches in the next 2028 presidential candidate who will lead Ghana is Professor Nana Opoku Agyemang. How do I do so? It is possible, or because it is possible, assurance is 99.999%. I can't one pay, which means we confirm say Professor Nana Opoku Agyemang, His Excellency, the beautiful woman with brains, the vice woman with vision, or no any obitime to Franca, the ama President Mahama. Kopim say Mahama baby in a Juman, or no, just say we Haruna Iddrisu, little hint our dropping. You're going to go to this first exclusive interview, and the second one. Now I send the body guy at the Jumabi, and the Baba Besumo, and a part 2. God bless you.
Inspector General of Police, his performance overall or his performance before, during, and the process of the election.
I'm just asking a question.
There's law and order in Ghana. I think that we should measure that by the incidence of crime, and the incidence of recidivism is what we should look at. He's done his best. At least there's peace in the country. Crime rate is low. I'm not too satisfied with some of his performance at the election. I mean, for instance, but I'm told that the persons who were involved in the shooting in Nyankwala have been brought to Accra. They should, and they would face the full rigors of the law. I mean, I'm a candidate and an interested person. I don't walk to a polling station with a pencil or a pen in my hand.
And I know
why would you carry a weapon or a gun into a polling station? That is not allowed. That is criminal. And then when you journalists and the media say elections are free and fair, you must have an understanding of what it means to be free from fear. When you shoot at a polling station, then that election cannot be described as being free and fair. It must be free from fear. The electorate must have the confidence to go and vote the way they want, and eventually it probably may have affected the outcome of the elections in Tolong generally. Nyankwala is a stronghold of the NDC. We all know that. Tolong. Jean Mensah, chairperson of Electoral Commission, you see, so she now knows that she doesn't declare elections. The electorate, with their thumb, they decide, and you announce. That's what is happening to Jean Mensah. Whatever thought she has in her head, God answered the prayers of Ghana, and God answered John Mahama's prayers. So Jean Mensah, you remember, when we were fighting here, then I was minority leader, when she wanted to deny over 500,000 Ghanaians, 500,000 votes, in the name of national ID card. So national ID card now go around the country and complete it, so that into next election, we now can say that national ID card is the basis. But when you haven't completed it, people don't have national ID card, then you say you won't accept the other process. It's a public good, national ID card. We need it. But make sure, in fact, and I shared this with you, I traveled to La Barga, the last village in my constituency on the Yendi Road, and Tugu on the Yendi Road. My electorate woman walked out. I'll share the video with you and said, Honorable Aduna, ID card ma tekale. We don't have the national ID card. And that when they came here, they didn't give them the opportunity. So national ID card, a public good. We want it for every deserving Ghanaian. But when you don't make it available, you cannot make that the sole basis. So Jean Mensah, Electoral Commission, you are only relevant when political parties are relevant. And you are only relevant when democracy is relevant. But at least she's done well. this time she had no hesitation because the results was now known. I should thank Dr. Omani Buama, the eagle eye. At least he had learned his lessons of what probably happened to him and the NDC in 2016 and 2020, and he sought to improve it. And you've seen Doctor now, Office of the Vice President. I don't know if he wants to remain there. Doctor sitting with Alif, sitting with Dr. Anaba. So at least John Mahama have helped you make history. So you now can have aspiration because Professor Naana is Vice President of the Republic. Who knows? She probably may be the first female president of our republic. It is possible.
Is she saying? I mean, I'm asking that question because 2 days ago we had Joyce Bar Mokhtari saying that Jean Mensah perhaps should resign 2 days. I mean, should resign before.
That who should resign?
Jean Mensah should resign. Should she stay? Are you going to keep her?
Over what? Charlotte Asel was chairperson of Electoral Commission. They had issues with her because of something. Yes. Procurement. If Jean Mensah too has procurement issues, that may define her future. I don't know.
So you think she should go?
No. Why would you change an Electoral Commission chairperson? These are not matters that is of primary concern to President Mahama. I'm begging you, know where Jean Mensah is. Jean Mensah doesn't determine who rules Ghana. Ghanaians determine who rules them. And reveal and expose many of the wrongs of this administration. And then let us know the true state of the Ghanaian economy. Where are we with debt? Where are we with inflation? Where are we with commitments that have not been cleared by government? President Mahama will sanitize all that.
At least before you get to know the real situation through this transition process, we do know that inflation is over 23%, am I right?
Unacceptably high.
We also do know that unemployment is 14.7%. Debt is over 700 billion Ghana
Those are the sins of Nana Adudankwa
and I remember you saying just a few days ago that this outgoing government had handed the incoming government a very difficult economy. Yeah. Yet in the midst of all of this, we've seen the promises of the incoming government.
President Mahama will naturally renegotiate the IMF extended credit facility, and probably he would work to secure an investment of up to $2 billion US. If he's able to do that, because remember, he cannot borrow that outside the concessionary loans that he'll get. Ghana may not be able to go commercial in terms of our borrowing. But the new Patriotic Party government of Nana Adudankwa was simply just reckless and irresponsible with borrowing, even though they campaigned that they were superior managers of the economy, better managers of the economy. I was listening to Dr. Anaba, and many of you, the media, you have to go back to memory lane. What happened in 2017 during transition, that a professional like him, respected professional, meritocracy is important for this country if the country is to have a future. Why would anybody want to embarrass him? You haven't studied medicine. He spent his time, life, and money to study his medicine, service to the country. But just because of his political color, he had to suffer. That is not acceptable going forward into the future. But is that not the kind of
politics we do in Ghana?
Yes, so adversarial politics, yes, and I think that into the future we have to discuss that. I've had cause to say in Parliament that the winner takes away principle is the bane of Ghanaians not benefiting more from what you call a democracy dividend. But what's significant is that Ghana arguably is going to go through another successful seamless transition, which will remarkably or incredibly add to Ghana's standing as a worthy democracy of a kind. Ghana's democracy will remain a better example for many African countries. We've seen transition of power from one political party to the other, from the other government to the other. But John Dramani Mahama will exert accountability. That is what the Ghanaian people expect him to do.
Exert accountability.
And we are talking about Nyankwala.
Before I go to Nyankpala, hold on, Mr. Iddrisu, before I go to Nyankpala, I was going to ask you about all these things that are already in place, even before you see the reality on the ground. And yet there are a lot of promises in terms of tax cuts and some quote-unquote freebies, as it were, as promises within the 120 days.
There's no freebies.
Well,
John Dramani Mahama will honor his commitment to the Ghanaian people as expressed in the manifesto of the NDC.
If you would just allow me to land, he's talking about scrapping e-levy, COVID-19, the 10% levy on bets or bet winnings. He's talking about emission levy. I know he's also looking at taxes on imported vehicles for industrial and agricultural purposes, all of these things that are coming in. And you've already admitted that this economy is difficult. How is he going to get that done?
Notwithstanding, to borrow the words of the MPP again, President Mahama is coming to do away with nuisance taxes. There are nuisance taxes. I mean, e-levy, we're told, will bring in 6.9 billion. That's not the case. It's not achieved that. And President Mahama is committed to growing the digital sector of our economy. I anticipate that President Mahama will have a minister responsible for his 24-hour economy issue or personal vendetta for President John Dramani Mahama. Not at all.
How would you rate?
He would want to keep the unity and stability of the country, but he would exact accountability.
How would you rate the performance of the...
public servants did not use public resources well, and public resources find itself in wrong hands. It's only appropriate and lawful that he recovers that. How will I rate what?
I was going to go to the IGP, but I want to stay a bit longer on the judiciary bit. And the concern is that...
Inspector General of Police, his performance overall or his performance before, during, and the process of the election.
I'm just asking a question.
There's law and order in Ghana. I think that we should measure that by the incidence of crime, and the incidence of recidivism is what we should look at. He's done expenditure in lieu of appropriation. We have to get a country running, and Parliament, regardless of what the differences may be as to who is majority or minority.
But it's
I
clear
think
now,
that
isn't it?
natural factors have resolved that. So maybe we should have more peace and ease looking into the future. But Parliament has to get, you can't have a budget until there is a policy program of President Mahama. That will take some time, January, February, March, when he constitutes his government. But we have to pass what we call the expenditure in lieu of appropriation pursuant to Article 179 of the Constitution. Allow some expenditure that are urgent to be accommodated within it. I'm sure probably that may be one of the factors motivating Speaker Bagbin. And I've seen TV3 even do a short list of Haruna Iddrisu to be Speaker. I'm not interested in becoming Speaker of Parliament.
So which ministerial appointment are you
I don't know. I'll serve the President in any capacity he deems fit. But as I said, even in the 8th Parliament, I saw the Honorable Okudjato Black, Honorable Ayarga, Atuforsen, Honorable Amabua, and a group. They were urging me to run for Speaker. I disappointed them that I was not interested in being Speaker of Parliament.
Speaker is number 3 in our Constitution. But perhaps others have also suggested you want presidency.
I'm happy in my role as Member of Parliament for Tamale South. I've always said that I don't know tomorrow, and therefore...
You don't want the presidency?
My eye is on the ball, but I don't know about tomorrow.
So it's likely we may see you run for president?
It's also likely I may not live to see tomorrow. What about that?
But you haven't answered the question, actually.
And I say I may not live to see tomorrow, so leave that to fate.
So I should take that as a no.
God.
That you're not looking
forward to it. I say leave that to fate. My eye is on the ball.
Your eye? Which ball?
I say my eye is on the ball.
Which ball?
My eye is on the ball. If you are watching a football match, watch how the football is
played. There are a lot of balls, so which of them?
I say my eye is on the ball. But I'm not sure that I'll live to see tomorrow, so I'm not worried about tomorrow.
You're not worried about tomorrow?
I have today, yeah.
You haven't answered the question, but I
have today.
I will move on.
So pray for President Mahama's success on his behalf. I should thank the Ghanaian people for the utmost faith and confidence they've reposed in him. He would not let the Ghanaian people down, and probably I'd like to continue listening to your other panelists.
Yes, but we'll wrap up very shortly. I was going to go to the judiciary, and the fact that the NDC has bastardized the judiciary. We've heard even the incoming president say that the outgoing president has packed the Supreme Court and the judiciary with MPP pro people, even the Electoral Commission prior to this year's general election. Are we going to see changes? Because I know that the Constitution also empowers
the Constitution
the
says that the judiciary shall not be subject to the control of any person or institution. President Mahama will respect that, but he would expect the justice system to be just and do justice to all Ghanaians. That has work to do.
I want you to react to what the information minister said about the recruitment issue that Felix Kwachofosu.
But I do know that some acts of government are lawful up to 7th midnight of 6th January 2025. Some actions of Nana Adudankwa are lawful within the premise of the 1992 Constitution. He's still the president of our republic, albeit a lame duck president, an outgoing president. He must prepare his handing over nose together with the handing over nose of his ministers. He has an opportunity to decide whether he wants to address Parliament for the last time, and then he would bid us farewell as Ghanaians have bid him farewell. But essentially, Nana Adudankwa haven't done well. His party has poorly performed, reflecting the poor outcome of his policies and governance, arrogance and impunity. So I've said that President Mahama must declare zero tolerance for all the wrongs of the MPP. He can't afford to repeat any of the mistakes of the MPP. Ghanaians will not forgive him and forgive us if he did that.
Is Jean Mensa staying?
Jean Mensa, chairperson of Electoral Commission, you see, so she now knows that she doesn't declare elections. The electorate, with their term, they decide and you announce. That's what is happening to Jean Mensa. Whatever thought she has in her head, God answered the prayers of Ghana and God answered John Mahama's prayers. So Jean Mensa, you remember, when we were fighting here, then I was minority leader, when she wanted to deny over 500,000 Ghanaians, 500,000 votes in the name of national ID card. So national ID card now go around the country and complete it so that into next election, we now can say that national ID card is the basis. But when you haven't completed it, people don't have national ID card, then you say you won't accept the other process. It's a public good, national ID card. We need it. But make sure, in fact, and I shared this with you, I traveled to La Barga, the last village in my constituency on the Yendi Road, and Tugu on the Yendi Road. My electorate woman walked out. I'll share the video with you and said, Honorable Aduna, ID card ma tekale. We don't have the national ID card. And that when they came here, they didn't give them the opportunity. So national ID card, a public good. We want it for every deserving Ghanaian. But when you don't make it available, you cannot make that the sole basis. So Jean Mensa, Electoral Commission, you are only relevant when political parties are relevant. And you are only relevant when democracy is relevant. But at least she's done well. This time she had no hesitation because the results was now known. I should thank Dr. Omani Buama, the eagle eye. At least he
Abusunya like and share Jumadi in for comment section. Daily update scenario. Haruna Iddrisu na ama a confirmation and as all granting interview no or Kasimbi ame who say Professor Naana Opoku Ajeman. Professor himself no obetumi ababere ababelidi NDC amanyokuo no afe 2028 obetumi ababetu franka de ama NDC amanyokuo no Haruna Iddrisu na bi sansem we so na ne nyina se professor so edizebo because maame no obi a onimoma ye pam na adwumu so abobew say onimte eti se hwe na obelidi NDC amanyokuo na ebeboa yi ebeboa pa ama NDC so den etumi adi wo mudwuma se de ese ebisho daily update TV so for comment section